Hello, here we are again. Today I'm going to talk to you about method number 3, negative offset survey. The reason why it's called negative offset is you're measuring down to what you're measuring with the R2. And as you can see, the R2 is up on top of the RAS. When to use method number 3, negative offset? Method number 3, negative offset, is best used when you can access the RAS pretty easily. I would use this to literally get the RAS up on top, or on a SAS. Either device. You can put it on the RAS, you can put it on the SAS, but don't put it on the MBS unit. There's too much risk of it falling. I have very little chance of it falling here today. There's no wind. It's not too high. It's not on the edge of a roof. One of the things I want to reiterate again, a couple things. I had to come up to a roof. I'm up here alone. Make sure you have a contact before you come up on the roof, or if you're being escorted on. Make sure you have a way to contact somebody to get down off the roof. Last thing we want you to do is be stuck up on a roof somewhere. The other two things I want to reiterate again is bring the equipment checklist with you. Really good to check your equipment before you go up onto a roof and before you leave off a roof. I have left stuff on the roof, so that's from experience. So take this with you. Make sure you bring everything back. The next thing that I'll reiterate, probably for every time, there's 3 different types of, actually in a way 4 different types of survey, one of them being called altitude transfer, and there's validation after you've done your surveying. There's a simple sheet here that tells you whether you're measuring negative number or you're measuring a positive number, but you're always entering in meters into the device, into the SASVT software. So use this with you. Again, I'm using method number 3, negative offset. I have the R2 above the RAS device. So here I have the RAS, and I'm actually measuring down to it, as in this case here. So I've got the R2 up there, and I've got the RAS down here, so I'm inputting a negative number. It's good to keep this, keeps you from forgetting. The last thing you want to do is input the wrong number. Think you've got good data, you get back to the car, you send in the closeout document, the program manager of your region comes back to you and says, you did it wrong. Then you got to reschedule or whatever you have to do to get back up onto that roof and complete the survey again. All right, so the last thing here is I've mentioned that we're going to do a negative measurement. I happen to know from the base of the R2 down to my line is 36 centimeters. So what that tells me is I'm going to enter, again, my R2 is above my RAS, I'm measuring the RAS. I'm measuring down to it, I'm going to input a negative offset. So when I get open up the SASVT app and it asks me what's the offset, I'm going to enter a negative 0.36. 36 centimeters is 0.36 meters. You need to make sure you know your conversion. You have both metric and standard on here. Make sure you're looking at the metric numbers, the centimeter numbers. The last thing too is, if at all possible, method number 3 is the easiest one to set up. I have no tripod. I have no telescopic pole. I've even managed to connect my phone to the pole the RAS is mounted to. This makes this the easiest survey method to do. Okay, so we're ready to go. I've had my R2 running for a while. I'm already picking up RTX, I can see that. So now we're gonna go look, open up the SASVT app and get running. Okay, so here we are. We're gonna go into SASVT as usual. Okay, I've got to log in. I still need to fix this to my name. Okay, so I've logged into the SAVT app under mine. All logging in does is when you get done with a survey and you hit email, it's going to email that information to you. So if you don't have that set up, that email will go to somebody else. So now I need to go into GNS survey. I need to select the 696R2 that I'm using. That's the last 3 digits of its serial number. And we're waiting for it to come up now, and there it is. Okay. Okay, and we're connected. So I'm going to enter into here negative 0.36. To get negative, you must hit this twice fairly fast. You can see I have the negative up there. Now I'm going to go 0.36. Next, arrow down. And as you can see, I already have 17 satellites, RTX correction, those are both right here. And I've got my Z confidence really fast, already down to 0.08. I'm in a good location, and I've had my R2 running prior to getting up here on the roof. One quick thing to note, satellite coverage and RTX correction with the Z confidence getting down, that's almost dependent day by day. Some days you're going to have good days and some days you're going to have bad days. You can see I just dropped out of that green confidence Z. Looks like we're about to go back in. Going to give it just a second. Actually going up on me. I'm gonna pause. Okay, I'm back in the green again. That literally took probably less than a minute. Now it just jumped out, of course, when I started videoing. I'm gonna continue to run this test for the sake of the video. And again, we're back in the green. Really good R confidence Z. So I'm gonna go next. I hit that down there. It found SAS 13. We're at the rooftops. RAS at NextNav's site. I'm showing you this purpose of understanding what a negative offset method 3 is. And measure. Now it gives you this data here. This data, when you hit email, like I said, gets emailed to yourself. And the information, lat long and altitude HAE, are what you need to fill out in your closeout document to submit back to your program manager. I'm going to hit email and I believe done. Okay, done. So I've had a really good survey that took no less than 5 minutes. Okay, we're done with this survey. I hope what you can remember from this survey is it's done on RAS and SAS only. It's done when you can reach the top of the RAS or the SAS without fear of dropping the R2. R2's $10,000 device that is delicate. So you don't want to do this in situations where there's any fear at all of it falling 10 feet to the ground or off the side of a building. So RAS and SAS only. It's called method 3, it's called negative offset. And the reason why I say negative offset is when you have the R2 and you're measuring the RAS below it, you're measuring down to the RAS device. And that's the negative offset. All right, that's it for this. It's very simple way to survey.